Live from WTVO 17 and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Bullets fly in Rockford with 9 people killed this year alone. Community members hope the next Rockford Police chief will help the public feel safer.
I've been in the business 33 years. I've never seen a national blood shortage so bad.
A plea to roll up your sleeve. Rockford's main blood supplier pits first responders against each other for a good cause. You can support your favorite department by giving a life-saving donation.
Yeah, I
Very
actually
much so.
started tearing up a little bit, especially when I heard his backstory.
A puppy with a will to live finds his forever home. The team of animal advocates who saved the dog explain the obstacles he faced. Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. 9 people have been murdered in 7 months in 2021 as the city of Rockford continues to deal with gun violence.
The latest shooting took place last night outside the Walgreens on 11th Street. Another man was killed earlier in the day on Lexington Avenue. The city is on par with 2020 and 2019 homicide rates. This time last year, we had seen 11 homicides and 10 in 2019. That gun violence will likely be a priority for the city's next police chief. Dan O'Shea retired a couple of months ago.
Rockford's Fire and Police Commission's looking not only for his replacement, but also a new fire chief. Rachel Perry got an update on how this uptick in violence is affecting commissioners' search. Rachel.
That's right, Mimi and Eric. After a violent weekend in Rockford, I spoke with Police and Fire Commissioner and a concerned citizen to find out if they see a new chief being a part of a solution.
The only direct connection between law enforcement and crime is that they're there to clean up the mess when our society has failed.
Bob Babcock is worried about the recent crime in Rockford. As the city searches for a new police chief, he tells me he doesn't see a new chief being able to stop the recent shootings, robberies, and murders.
I'm not so sure that a police chief is going to be able to solve the crime problem per se. I think the crime problem is a problem of the trauma and stress in our society and the reality that we live in a relatively low-income area.
Fire and Police Commissioner Sam Schmitz says they are looking for someone who understands the city.
Has experienced some of the turmoil that our world currently we exist in, so certainly that's going to be a key criteria, and not only have experienced it, but how has it been handled in the current municipality that they're working in.
As well as someone who knows the problems the city faces.
We would hope that each candidate that has applied has done their research on Rockford and wants to be involved to help make our community everything that it can be.
Schmitz tells me transparency, along with relationships between police and the public, are extremely important, while Babcock is hopeful for change.
Being transparent as possible, to engage the community and making the department everything that it can be.
I think we're almost like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So I'm very hopeful. I see a lot of people who care here, and that's wonderful, and that's why I love Rockford.
An outside firm is now going through the chief candidates. You can submit questions for them, and a link to that is on mystateline.com. Eric?
Thank you, Rachel. A 22-year-old man is dead after a shooting near Milwaukee. An undercover police officer may have saved more lives. Police say the victim was filling up his car early this morning at a Pilot Travel Center around 20 miles south of the city. The gunman walked up to him and pulled the trigger. According to investigators, the suspect shot at another person driving through the parking lot. That person was not hurt. The gunman went to another gas station a couple of miles away where he tried to shoot someone else. That someone else was an undercover officer who pulled a gun and fired back. The suspect was shot and died. The officer was also shot and is recovering in the hospital. There's no word on a motive.
State and local agencies met today to discuss the Chemtool incident. Environmentalists, health officials, and Rockton Village leaders provided updates. Meanwhile, the push continues to hold the company accountable after the massive fire and explosions. Attorney General Kwame Raoul and Winnebago County State's Attorney Jay Hanley have filed a lawsuit against Chemtool, claiming they put the public's health and welfare in danger. But Hanley says the suit is an expected part of the process.
When I view this litigation, I don't see this as being anti-Chemtool, and I think that's really important because so often litigation is black and white, one side versus the other, and it will probably get contentious as litigation does and as negotiations can become.
Hanley says Chemtool should be held liable for any damages and cover the costs the state and county incurred responding to the incident.
Rockford's fire and police departments engage in some friendly competition once again. The Battle of the Badges takes place this week in Rockford. Whoever comes out on top gets bragging rights, but the real winner is local hospitals. Anyone who donates blood to the Rock River Valley Blood Center has the chance to choose the Rockford Fire Department or police. Just let center staff know you're donating for the battle. You'll get a ballot to put in the corresponding box. Organizers say it's typical for blood donations to be down in the summer, but COVID continues to make things worse.
So many people put off their medical procedures last year, and now they're all coming back and they're being inundated, and we can't keep up with the blood products needed.
As of yesterday, it was 40 to 35 with Rockford Fire in the lead. The first 300 donors get a free t-shirt.
Over a dozen state-line organizations that specialize in helping children get a little help themselves. The Mill Foundation gave out more than $136,000 in grants. Nearly $7,000 of that went to Rock House Kids. The funds mean the program can buy cameras for its classrooms. Rock House Kids Executive Director Dee Lackney says teachers will be able to pull up recordings, which will keep everyone safer.
We're going to keep it even safer inside for them. But we need to thank the Mill Foundation, every person that's here, because we're all working for the same thing. We're working for our future, and we're working for our kids to have a strength and something that they can hold on to and have self-pride.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear how another organization is investing its grant from the Mill Foundation.
From being tied up in the country, not knowing when his next meal would come, to unlimited treats and a loving family. One Boone County dog's been through a lot in his short life.
Michelle Rave caught up with the pup's new family and the people who rescued him. Michelle?
This puppy's journey to find a forever home had a little rough start. I caught up with staff from Boone County Animal Services who shared Roan's story with me. About a month ago, this little guy was found without food or water in the middle of a Boone County cornfield.
When they first found him tied up, it's sickening. You could see his ribs, his bones. He was nothing but skin and bones, and like Chad said, the way he was tied up, so he could not get loose. It's just heartbreaking. The 5 to 6 month old pit bull mix spent weeks recovering at the Boone County Animal Shelter, but on Tuesday he found a new home.
And she showed me a picture of him, and I looked into his eyes, and I said that I have to have that dog. He needs a good home.
We just fell in love with him instantly.
Tish Taylor and Chad McQuality knew they needed to expand their family when they saw the pup, who they're now calling Roan.
He's so happy. He's such a good boy. Yeah. He has a lot of training ahead of him, but we both enjoy that, and we're just very happy to have him a part of our lives, and we want to make him have the happiest life he can.
The director of Boone County Animal Services says while Roan's situation is unique, they unfortunately find abandoned pets all too often.
But to find a dog tied out in the middle of a cornfield doesn't happen too often. What you're likely to hear more often is people driving out in the country, opening the doors, shoving a dog outside and driving away.
But Roan is getting a second chance in life with a new family in a forever home.
Want to go home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah? You're going home.
Yay, good boy.
If you have trouble taking care for a pet, rather than abandoning them, you are encouraged to seek help from your local animal shelter. Eric, Mimi.
If dogs could smile, Rowan would have one on his face right now. Thanks, Michelle. Democrats say they want to go big on a federal plan to help American families.
Right now, they're working to draft a plan that would invest trillions of dollars into family programs like child care. DC's Raquel Martin has more as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
We are on the same page.
Senator Bernie Sanders says he's teaming up with President Biden to pass a massive spending plan to help families.
A strong majority of the members of the Democratic caucus want to go as big as we possibly can.
Following a meeting with the president Monday, Sanders said Democrats are finalizing details for a multi-trillion-dollar bill that would extend the child tax credit, expand paid family leave, and make preschool and community college free.
Which shows the working families of this country that government can and must work for them.
Democrats plan to pass the bill without Republicans, but it's unclear how big they will go. Sanders is proposing up to $6 trillion in spending. That's nearly triple the size initially proposed by the White House.
Working Americans know that's not what they voted for.
Tuesday, Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell warned more government spending will harm the economy and skyrocket inflation.
Nobody seriously thinks our country needs another gigantic overdose of overborrowing, overspending, and overtaxing.
And accused Democrats of pushing socialist programs.
You really can't make this stuff up.
But Illinois Senator Dick Durbin says McConnell just wants to block progress.
It was publicly announced that he's 100% opposed to the Biden agenda.
Democrats say their goal is to pass their family's plan alongside a bipartisan deal for traditional infrastructure. In Washington, Raquel Martin.
Now, your first warned weather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, the day started off with a bit of cloud cover and some fog, but we were able to clear out here for this afternoon, leaving us with a partly cloudy sky and warmer temperatures, too. A live look with a Marcial SkyTrack camera out at the Park Hills Golf Course. Those numbers today climbing into the 80s, 81 in Freeport, Dixon, 82 in Rockford, 80 our current temperature in Rochelle, still at 79 right now in DeKalb, 82 for our weather watcher Bob here in Rockford. He had 3/4 of an inch of rain from what came down late last night and very early this morning. Kind of had a band of rain move across the Rockford region. Didn't move a whole lot and actually produced some heavier rain. 0.8 of an inch of rain came down at the airport. 79 for Ben in Belvedere. No rainfall here. That dew point temperature sitting at 66 degrees. Now, while we are going to stay fairly quiet here this evening, there are a couple of weather features that I wanted to point out on our map this evening that do bear some watching. The first one, a little disturbance moving through north central and central Iowa. This most likely will give us a little more cloud cover later tonight. You see some showers, a few isolated thunderstorms tied with that. Not overly concerned, but maybe a sprinkle or two we could get here once we head after midnight. The bigger feature we need to pay attention to is what's developing here, that counterclockwise spin over Montana. That is our next low pressure system that will move closer to us tomorrow and could bring us the potential for some severe weather as early as tomorrow afternoon. Now, there's a couple scenarios with this that I want to kind of play out here as we go through the next 24 to 36 hours. For this evening, you've got no concerns, little more cloud cover moving in, maybe a sprinkle or two, but we start off our Wednesday dry. That is almost a given. Temperatures will be warming quickly, though, as we see the sunshine and we've got a return of that southwesterly wind. The key here is what happens for the afternoon. Remember that disturbance over Montana. That grows into kind of this storm cluster over the plains and Midwest later tonight and during the day tomorrow. Tomorrow, if we've got a lid on our atmosphere and that lid gets removed, then we could see thunderstorms as early as about 1, 2 o'clock tomorrow. Here's that disturbance that would help lift our atmosphere, or the air in that, to get those thunderstorms to form. If this scenario plays out, we will likely see strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. That would then carry us into the evening. Second round, second wave coming in tomorrow evening would pose more of a heavy rain threat. That would take us into Thursday morning and then scattered thunderstorms for Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, and Thursday evening. Scenario number 2, here comes that disturbance, but it stays mostly to the north. That lid stays tight and we're not able to get rid of that. That would keep our afternoon dry. Our focus would then shift to what comes in during the late evening and overnight, which could have more of a wind as well as that heavy rain threat with those thunderstorms then that would carry over into Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. So the questions we have are dew point temperatures. How high do they get? And if we're able to break that cap. If yes, our thunderstorms will develop in the afternoon. If no, then we've got those thunderstorms in the evening. If we were to see thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, our window would be from about 1 to 2 o'clock to about 7 to 8 o'clock with that severe threat. We'll keep those thunderstorms going into Thursday. Some of those could be on the stronger side too, with some heavier rainfall. Friday shifting a little more to the south, but then drying out, guys, as we head later into the weekend.
Now, the Napleton Sports Desk with Sports Director Scott Lever.
The All-Star Game is the focus of Major League Baseball tonight in Denver, but the future of Major League Baseball is what Commissioner Rob Manfred was addressing today. Manfred says 7-inning doubleheaders are likely to revert back to the regular 9 innings next year. And he anticipates MLB will do away with the automatic runner on second base in extra-inning games. He says those changes were necessary during the pandemic, but they're no longer necessary. I agree with him on both counts. Major League Baseball games are 9 innings long, 7-inning games for high schoolers and youth baseball teams. And I don't want to see any more 7-inning no-hitters that aren't ruled no-hitters. Manfred also said he expected the universal DH rule will be in play for future years. The National League will likely adopt it as the American League has. Again, I'm all for that. I don't get a thrill out of watching big league pitchers struggle to hit. And worse yet, who wants to see a great pitcher get injured while running the bases? These words from Manfred are the best baseball news of the day, regardless of what happens tonight. Well, the USA men's basketball team will take the court this evening for another exhibition game. And they've lost their first 2 exhibition games to Nigeria and Australia, causing rumbles around the globe. So what gives? How can a team full of NBA ballers like Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Jason Tatum, Damian Lillard, and Zach LaVine lose to these other countries? One reason is the players on these other teams have been playing together longer, giving them more time to work on their chemistry. Another reason is the three-point shot levels out the playing field. In basketball, a team with lesser athleticism and lesser talent can overcome an opponent if it can shoot the three. That's what Nigeria did to the United States last Saturday night when it made 20 three-point baskets. Another factor in Team USA's sluggish start to exhibition play is these NBA guys have a harder time getting up for international play than these other nations do. For all the guys on Team USA, their priority is the NBA, not the Olympics or any other competition. But their competitive juices will kick in as we get moving along toward the Olympics, and their chemistry will improve. So Team USA will start to look much better, but that doesn't mean Team USA will win the gold in Tokyo. It's in for some real tough battles. That's my take. We'll be right back.
Our first warning, interactive radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and more. Things will stay quiet this evening. Might see a little more cloud cover move in later tonight. Temperatures tonight down into the mid-60s. The chance for thunderstorms returns tomorrow afternoon. We'll have to watch the afternoon for a few severe thunderstorms, staying rainy into Thursday.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.